When I was little, my grandma would teach me to bake all kinds of things. We'd bake chocolate chip cookies, cupcakes, fun recipes we found online, and simple birthday cakes. Never anything too extravagant. Nothing too extravagant, that is, until my mom sent me a video of Buddy from Cake Boss making a rainbow cake. She told me she wanted it for her birthday, so I thought, hey, might as well give it a shot. Now, I made this particular cake without any steps or guidance, which made it an interesting journey. I had no idea what I was doing or even if it would turn out. Each step I made, I was so hesitant that I would mess something up. This was my mom's birthday cake after all. I didn't want to disappoint her. If you follow along with me, you will not only impress your family members, but you will also save money on buying a cake from a grocery store. But you may be thinking, what do you know about baking a cake like this? Well, quite frankly, I was in your shoes not too long ago. I had no idea what I was doing and never thought I would need to bake a cake this crazy. Until the day before my mom's birthday, she sent me the video. I thought to myself, no way. I had never even imagined I could be capable of anything like this. But that's what she wanted for her birthday, so I set off. You also may be thinking, why should I listen to this speech? Why in the world would I need to know how to bake a cake like this? Well, the answer is quite simple. You're going to impress all of your family members, save money from buying a cake, and have a great time learning a new skill. So here we go. Let's bake a cake. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and then start by finding a 1 cup dry measuring cup, a teaspoon, a 1 cup wet measuring cup, yes, they are different things, your cake pans, a regular spoon, a big mixing bowl, a medium mixing bowl, a mixer if you have it, otherwise a whisk will do, and a spatula. Next, you will need to gather your sugar, butter, I use margarine, 4 eggs, vanilla, flour, baking powder, non-stick cooking spray, and milk. I use 2%, but obviously any milk will do. Also get your food coloring out and a few toothpicks. In your large mixing bowl, pour in the 2 cups of sugar and the 1 cup of butter. Cream these together and then beat in the eggs one at a time. This will help the consistency be just right. Once all 4 eggs are beaten in, you can stir in your 4 teaspoons of vanilla. In your medium mixing bowl, mix together the 3 cups of flour and the 3.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Slowly stir in the dry mixture until the batter is smooth. I personally pour in a little bit at a time to make it easier to mix, but pouring in the whole thing won't hurt anything. Your last step before putting the cake in the pan is to slowly pour in your 1 cup of milk. Make sure to use the lowest setting on your mixer so it doesn't splatter out of the bowl. Don't forget to grease the pans! The last time I baked this cake, I forgot twice. Yeah, you heard that right. I forgot once, poured the batter out, poured it back in, and realized, shoot, I did it again. Get someone to help you pour the mixture into the pans so you can ensure you get every last little bit of batter. This is my favorite part. Drop in about 10 drops of your desired food coloring and stir it in until it's all one color. If it's still not dark enough, just add a couple more drops. Don't forget the orange. And that's it. You're ready to put it in the oven. Set a timer for 30 minutes and then go back in and check. For my oven, it takes approximately 37 minutes, but it seems like all ovens are different. To make sure your cake is done, stick a toothpick in it. If it comes out clean with no batter, it's done. If it comes out dirty, you'll want to put the cake back in for a few more minutes. Repeat the baking process for each cake, but make sure you use a different color each time. Yellow, green, blue, and purple. Don't forget to turn the oven off. Once each one of your cakes is done, you'll want to let them cool for about an hour or so on a cooling rack, and then wrap them in cling wrap to put them in the fridge overnight. Now it's time for day 2. First, you can gather a platter big enough to hold your cake, a serrated knife, spatula, and spoon. The only ingredients you'll need today are your sprinkles and frosting. Personally, I think this is the hardest step of the whole process. You're going to want to take one layer and carefully cut the rounded top off to make it flat. I cut the edges first and rotate it slowly to reach the middle. Be careful not to cut too much and make sure it's as straight as possible. By cutting the top off of each cake, it will make the assembly much easier. It will also make it look a lot nicer at the very end. Once you get one done, you will want to repeat the process for each cake. Yellow, green, blue, and purple. Once each cake is cut, you'll want to start off by putting the purple layer on your platter. Today, I'm using frosting from a piping bag, but that's just because Target was out of frosting in a jar. Everyone is baking these days. Scoop some frosting out and smooth on a thin layer. It doesn't have to be perfect or even close to perfect. This step is only to make the cake stick to one another. You'll want to repeat this step for each color of the cake to ensure your cake won't fall apart. Before you can put your chrome coat of frosting on, you have to smooth out the edges. It would almost be impossible to make a nice looking cake if you keep the edges as they are now. Very carefully slice downwards to even out the layers of the cake. Repeat this process all the way around until it's as smooth as you can get it. Now it's time for the frosting. Take your spatula and just start smearing it all over your cake. Try to make it as even as possible to hide the colors underneath. This part is pretty time consuming and you'll probably use a lot more frosting than you think. I had to open up a second piping bag. Once your frosting is all on, you'll want to go around the entirety of the cake one more time. This step will help ensure your frosting is as smooth as possible. What you've all been waiting for, sprinkles! Take a handful and slowly just press them onto the side of your cake. This may take some practice to figure out how to get them just right, but you'll get the hang of it. I had to try lots of different strategies when I first attempted this because I couldn't figure out how to make them stick. My mom even tried throwing them on. Needless to say, that didn't work. Once your bowl of sprinkles runs out, just take your spoon and scoop along the bottom of your cake to pick up the remaining sprinkles that didn't stick on the first time. Keep repeating this process until your cake is completely covered. There you have it, your cake is completed. Now it's time to cut into it and enjoy. So what do you think? Was this as hard as you once thought it to be? I showed you all the steps and ingredients to make each cake, how to make the colors, how to assemble the cake, and how to decorate it. We walked through specific instructions on how to mix the ingredients and tips on how to pour the batter. You learned how to put sprinkles on and even a couple ways that didn't work. As you can see now, this baking project is something anyone can do to impress their family members and save a few bucks. So here's the challenge. Use this video, follow the steps, and see if you can do it. I bet you'll impress yourself if you just give it a go. It'll take lots of time, but in the end it will definitely be worth it. If you do make your own cake, send me a picture or two. I want to see the process. If it seems too challenging when you first start out, don't give up. Things like this might take some practice, but you can do it.